Good morning and welcome. My name is Stefano Carpani. I'm a psychoanalyst and a sociologist. Today's post or today's vlog or today's video is about Tinder and the normal cause of love. We will start from here. Actually, it's two videos. Almost everybody knows what Tinder is, but I'm going to talk about Tinder on the second part of this video next week. Today I want to talk about what Beck and Gernsheim call the normal cause of love. They published this book in 1990 in Germany, in 1995 in the UK or internationally. In the same years, Tony Giddens, who I had the pleasure to meet at Cambridge, published this book in 1992. In the same years, more or less, 2003, 2006, Bauman published this book, Liquid Love. They were friends, they were working together, they knew each other very well. So you see, the theme was constellated. What does it mean, the normal cause of love? What is the normal cause of love? Well, in a previous post, we look at the concept of individualization, also from Beck and Gernsheim. With individualization means institutional individualism. So when people feel free to go beyond class structures, institutional structures, so gender, nationality, class, etc., etc., etc. Beck and Gernsheim say, what is the new era about? What is the new era? The new era is the post-Berlin Wall era, after the Soviet Union imploded, when Fukuyama said the world will become a global democracy. What a bullshit, he said. In fact, last year, in his latest book, he corrected himself. So what is the new era about? This book argues that one of its main features is a collision of interest between love, family, and personal freedom. The nuclear family, mom, dad, son, daughter, and perhaps a doggy. The nuclear family, built around gender status, male-female, is falling apart on the issues of emancipation and equal rights. Emancipation and equal rights, which no longer conveniently come to a halt outside our private lives. The result is the quite normal cause of love. More in depth. If this diagnosis is right, what will take over from the family, that heaven of domestic bliss? By the way, was the family heaven of domestic bliss? There's a lot of romanticism, there's a lot of fake news about the family. The family is not at all a heaven of domestic bliss. It's quite the opposite. But there are some good examples. So they say, if this diagnosis is right, what will take over from the family, the heaven of domestic bliss? They say the family, of course. Only different, more and better. They call it the negotiated family, the alternating family, the multiple family, where new arrangement after divorce, remarriage, divorce again, new assortments from your, my, our children, our past and present families. It will be the expansion of the nuclear family and its extension in time. It will be an alliance between individuals as it always has been. I like it. An alliance between individuals as it has always been. And it will be glorified largely because it represents a sort of refuge in the chilly environment of our affluent, impersonal, uncertain society, stripped of its traditions and scarred by all kinds of risk. Love will become more important than ever and equally impossible. This is why I want to talk about Tinder. But let's stay here for a moment. Family as a refuge in the chilly environment of an affluent, impersonal, uncertain society. They wrote this book at the end of the 80s, published it in 1990. They were visionaries, and I think the city where I live in, Berlin, is a great example, where actually these large cut families, remarried, are really happening. There are certain cities, certain spots in the world that are really the future. And the example of what is happening in Berlin is very important for those bourgeois, rigid, one-sided people around the world, which are looking at tradition as rules, are top-down, against transformation. Transformation cannot be stopped, and transformation is good or bad. Because the word goes on. They continue, women and men are currently compulsively on the search for the right way to live, trying out cohabitation, divorce, or contractual marriages, struggling to coordinate family and career, love and marriage, new motherhood and fatherhood. New motherhood and fatherhood, this is very important, beyond class, beyond gender, beyond status. And of course, friendship and acquaintance. This movement is underway. Now is not underway, is there. Although there are still spots which refrain, where they ask for going back to tradition. For example, the populists, going back to the family. Salvini in Italy says the family, and he divorced 3 times. He has kids with different people. Or Berlusconi. This movement is not anymore underway, is here, and there is no stopping. Of course, there is no stopping. One could call it the status struggle, which comes after the class struggle, indeed. In those countries where prosperity and social security have reached a high level, Western Europe, the US, where peace and democratic rights are beginning to be taken for granted, the contradiction between family demands and personal freedom, or between family demands and love, can no longer be concealed behind the daily struggle against misery and oppression. Well, of course, in Western Europe and North America, the misery of the struggle against misery and oppression is something that sounds a little bit of the past, but it's still here. It's only about understanding which kind of misery and which kind of oppression. So, back and underline, a traditional social identities gradually fade. The antagonism between man and woman over gender roles emerge in the very heart of the private sphere. In a whole range of trivial and important questions ranging from who does the dishes to sex and fidelity and the attitudes which these reveal, these antagonisms are beginning to change society in obvious and less obvious reasons. This is where I think where psychoanalysis and psychosocial studies are important. Less obvious reason and obvious reason. Who does the dishes? Susie Orbach, my interview, said, who cares about who does the dishes? Actually, it's who you are. What do you want? It's beyond the dishes. It's beyond who takes care of the house. Because now in the Western affluent society, many people have cleaning ladies or cleaning men helping to take care of the house, helping to take care of the kids. So it's really less obvious reason. Who you are and what you want. So love seems to slip away because it is idolized by a society focused on growth of the individual, not growth of the couple, not growth of the community, growth of the individual, me first. And it is laden with more hopes the quicker it seems to vanish into thin air, bereft of any social ties. They continue, just because all of this is taking place in the realm of love, it is happening secretly, TINDER again, in a disguised and covert manner. At first, it is nothing more than a certain animosity between you and me. Animosity is a very important concept, and it links to anima and animus. When animosity is between two people of whatever sex, there is no conversation, there is no eros. So the tensions which love has always brought with it, and the great value we ascribe to it, do not make their appearance as contradictory social roles, but as direct clashes between the people involved in their characteristic, mistakes and oversights, resulting in a battleground for recrimination and attempts to escape. Then they say, making an example, to put it more profoundly, workers and managers also understand their differences as personal problems, but at least they are not condemned to love one another, start a household, make a marriage, work, and bring up children together. So they make the difference between co-workers, friends even, and people that live together, people I would say that have a responsibility for the other. They say in the domestic relationship between man and woman, on the other hand, sharing a household makes every disagreement personal and painful. the anima, the animosity, the animus. The couples attempt to arrange everything individually, putting aside the demands of the world outside and creating their own world out of their love for one another. Transforms the inherent incongruities into personal difficulties. The reason why the quarrels and arguments are so deeply artful is that they form part of the security system to which the couple, for want of any other firm emotional base, has entrusted itself. I'm not sure about this. Actually, I disagree. That the arguments are part of the security system. Arguments sometimes are useful, but a relationship based on arguments is not an healthy one. Couple who have sex must support itself. One must support the other and also try to stay with the other for what the other is, with the positive and bad. But if there is too much quarrel, if there is too much animosity, acrimony, well, I would suggest let's look at it. Don't just look away. Because when we look away, we let the demon in, especially Lilith or others. So they say everything will be better next time. Yeah, many people have the tendency to look away, hoping that everything will be better next time with the next relationship, with the next job, with the next friend, with the next flat. This is not going to work, actually. This consoling cliche, they say, combines both aspects, the hopelessness and hope. Hope and despair. And we go back to Wittgenstein, or we go back to Bauman, who they said, Wittgenstein said, I wake up full of hope and I go to sleep in despair. Or Bauman used to say, I'm a positive person, and at night I become negative, or I'm a positivistic person, then I become pessimistic. I actually wake up in despair. I wake up negative in the morning. But then, little by little, hopes come up, because things happen. Love is the new center around which our detraditionalized life revolves. It may manifest itself as hope, betrayal, longing, jealousy, all addiction which afflict even such serious people as the Germans, or the European, or the Western people, and now, little by little, all the globe. This then is what we mean with the normal cause of love. Next week, I will talk about TINDER and the normal cause of love, or TINDER in the context of normal cause of love. Bye-bye.